Hello. Hope everybody out there is doing good today. I'm feeling good today. Welcome back to Relationship Cake and Ice Cream. I'm your host, Robin, and our motto here is this life is your life, your choice. Okay, and what I'm going to talk about today is this thing out in the world called unconditional love. All right, let's talk about that. Unconditional love. Well, we already know if something is conditional, that it has requirements, expectations, and those type of things. When it's unconditional, then there's no requirements, no expectations. Basically, everything goes, everything is acceptable, nothing is unacceptable. Okay, so unconditional love for me, I'm deal with relationships, and I know in a relationship there can't be anything called unconditional love. I think unconditional love is something that is reserved for, parents and their children. Uh, that's unconditional love. When you're willing to accept whatever your children are going through and maintain a relationship. That's unconditional love, where you're going to be there no matter what to help them any way that you can. So when we talk about relationships, whether it's a long-term relationship, whether it's marriage, living, dating, whatever it is we're talking about, there definitely cannot be this thing called unconditional love, because when you have unconditional love, it means that you're willing to accept anything the person brings to the table. I can tell you right now, your love better have conditions, because if it doesn't have conditions, you don't know what situation you will find yourself in, struggling with. Okay, the challenges in relationships are already great. Okay, a lot of people have no idea what being in a relationship is going to entail when they get in it. And I can tell you the challenges are a lot of times they're vast. And if your love don't not have any conditions for that relationship to um, go on, be maintained, to thrive, then you may find yourself dealing with things that you don't want to deal with at all. So when we tell somebody we love them at that moment, in that space and time that we're in. Okay, when I get with you or you get with someone, you love them right there in that space and time that you're in. It does not mean if they change who they are 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, that you're going to still love them or be in love with them. Because, being in love and loving someone is really two different things. So if somebody changes who they are, you might not want to maintain that relationship. So your love must have requirements and expectations. And when it comes to love being conditional, yes, it is conditional. It's conditional that you stay in some ways, or more ways than you probably can imagine right now, that you're going to stay that person in some way. It doesn't mean that the person is not going to experience growth. Okay, it doesn't mean that their life is not going to change in some ways or many ways. But what I'm talking about is being in a relationship where you don't have conditions. So if you don't have conditions, let's say you with a man and he goes out and he cheats on you multiple times, but you think that you love him, since you said you love him, you say you want to be there, that you have to tolerate that through eternity. You do not have to tolerate that through eternity. You have a right to save yourself from putting yourself through anything that causes you stress and unhappiness, sadness. Okay, you're living this life. This is your life too. It's not just the life of the person you with, it's not just the life of the relationship. You're living this life. So you have a right to live this life the way that you want to live it. And if you find yourself in a relationship that is not suitable to you, then you have a right to remove yourself from that relationship. I see all the time many women, many of us stay in relationships that is not serving any purpose for us. Okay, if you're not feeling good in that relationship, that connection is not there. Emotionally, you with a man that cannot tap into your feelings, seem to be disconnected from your feelings altogether. That is not a relationship that can be healthy, that can thrive. Okay, so you definitely want to put conditions on your relationship. You may be with a man and you may love him, be in love with him, and you get together with him for the long term, and you find out that during the times that you didn't see him regularly, he drinks, he's an alcoholic, and he's belligerent with it. Does that mean you have to love him through it? You can love him through it if he's willing to get some help and correct it. But let's say he's happy doing that. He's happy being who he is. A lot of times we think that we want people to change because they have a problem. If it's no problem to them, if they're happy doing what they're doing, then they're not the one with the problem. Unfortunately, you have the problem if you're not happy with the behavior. It becomes your problem. Because while they're happy doing it and they're going to repeat that behavior over and over and over again, while you're going to be sitting on the sideline complaining, begging them to get help, trying to figure out how you're going to deal with it, that's not suitable either. Okay, and that's why your love has to have conditions, because if you don't have any conditions and boundaries, then you'll wind up stuck in that spot thinking that you owe something to somebody because you said that you love them, to stay in a relationship that's not serving you at all, that's basically unhealthy for you, because eventually that stress and unhappiness takes its toll. And I'm a firm believer that anything that happens on the inside of us, okay, in our heart space, we eventually manifest that through disease and unhealthy behaviors, mental breakdown. Okay, these are the things that manifest from us having a willingness to sit in an unhappy space because we think, because we use the word love, that that means that we have to be there and love somebody through what they're going through. But the interesting thing about love to me is that often it's not a two-way street. Like if my behavior makes my partner, unhappy, and I see that that behavior is having some type of negative effect on my partner, it seems to me that love should make me want to change that behavior, at least be able to address it and address ways that I can change it so that my partner is not sitting in unhappiness. But if I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and that's what I want to do, which I have a right to do, okay, then I'm going to continue to do that while my partner is over here in that negative space trying to figure out how to deal with what I have decided that I'm going to continue to do. And that's why it's important for you to know yourself, what you're willing to accept and what you're willing not to accept. This thing where we have been conditioned to believe that when we're in a relationship, that we should stay in it because we said we love somebody, is absurd. Okay, love has to be a two-way street. Love is a compromise. It's a series of constant compromising with each other. And you don't like the fact that your partner drinks, okay, till he's drunk. So maybe what the agreement that he should be willing to come to is that he will drink, and he will not drink to the point that he's intoxicated and belligerent. Okay, because other than that, maybe he's a great, partner for you, loving, and but in that area, he just can't seem to break free from that. Okay, and you have to decide what's best for you. You have to really decide if this is a relationship you want to move forward with. or not. And also, I think it's very important when we are in a relationship, in the beginning stages of a relationship, I think a lot of times we're so overcome with the thought that, oh, we really like this person. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to be too nosy or overbearing. So a lot of times we don't want to scare the person away. So therefore, a lot of things that is sitting there in our headspace that we need to discuss, we don't discuss. And then after we have invested our time and our bodies in this relationship, now we want to talk about the things that are issues that are very important to us. I think from the onset of the relationship, you should speak about any issues that are important to you. Anything at all. You should speak about it. If you don't like alcohol, you should let them know. Okay? If you're not willing to deal with somebody that dabbles in drugs, maybe they just do it on the weekend or when they go out. Maybe you're not willing to deal with that. You should let them know. Okay? Maybe you smoke marijuana on a regular basis. You should let them know. You don't like cigarettes, you allergic to it. You should let them know. Okay? That might not be the relationship for you. And it's no problem with walking away from a relationship that does not serve a purpose or add to your growth in your lifetime. You only live in one life, and this is your life also. So you have to decide what you are willing to deal with and what you are not. But definitely, let me repeat, there's no such thing as unconditional love when it comes to relationships. It can't be. Because again, if there is a such thing, you will find yourself faced with challenges and situations that are so huge that you don't even know how to deal with it. You must be willing to save yourself and walk away if that is what is required. And you must be willing also to let a person know up front that your love has requirements and expectations. Because if you don't let them know that, anything goes. Your love has requirements and expectations. Let me say it again. I don't think I can say it enough. Your love must have requirements and expectations. If you do not have requirements and expectations, then you will find yourself with someone who thinks that they can do any and everything they want to do, and you will continue to be in that relationship. Love yourself first. You are the most important person there is, and this is your life, your choice. You must decide what type of loving relationship you are looking for. If it doesn't feel like love, it probably is not love. Okay, if you are in it and you've been in it and now you're looking at it and it doesn't feel like love, it probably is not love. And if you didn't let them know your expectations from the door, they will have no way of knowing. Again, thank you for joining me on this lesson, Relationship Cake and Ice Cream. You can also join me on my website, relationshipscakeandicecream.com. I have quite a few articles there, blogs that I write about relationships, marriage, sex, articles, and dating. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, this is your life, your choice.